everybody? This is RavenSky again. I wanted to do a short video on the 4 types of gloves that I use on the farm, and I knew that I was going to need gloves, and I kind of ran through a couple different types. I knew that I was going to need these gloves, but I just didn't know like what I was actually going to need. And I live in Florida, and there's a lot of, in the mornings it tends to be there's usually dew everywhere, so because there's so much moisture out here, I had to find the correct gloves to use at really, for the morning time and the afternoon. Different types of the days, or different types of days for weather, and depending on what I'm doing, whether I'm building something or whether I'm feeding cows or whether I'm handling cold metal or picking up logs or just whatever. So I have 4 different types of gloves that I want to show you, and these have all been absolutely essential for me, and I switch between them throughout the day depending on what I'm trying to do because one pair of gloves is not going to do everything for you. The first and most versatile gloves that I have, surprisingly, are these. You can actually get these at Home Depot, and these are the thick nitrile gloves, and these are called Ravens, coincidentally. They're also called, you can also get them, they're called Venoms, and they're really thick, or they're a lot thicker than regular nitrile gloves, and you can actually keep your hands warm because they keep the moisture in there. And they're really good. I usually wear these in the morning time because there's so much dew everywhere, and they keep all the water out so your gloves don't get messed up. Because I actually had a pair of leather gloves that I was picking up wet wood and some other stuff, and like the next day they fell apart because they dried up, and then I couldn't get my hands back into them, and they shrunk, and it was really bad. So I use these typically in the mornings, and when there's when I'm handling when I'm handling things that are wet. The second pair of gloves that I got were these, and I don't even know what they are really, but they're kind of like, they keep your hands warm, and they're also dipped in this like rubberized type of material. And the glove itself is some kind of like stretchy type of material. Maybe sometimes they make clothes out of it, I'm not sure. But these actually come in handy, and they're really good for gripping. So not only do they don't keep the moisture out as much as these do, because the tops of them, everywhere where it's black, moisture will get in. So you can't like put your hands in water or nothing because they'll just get soaked. But when you're handling wet tools and cold metals and anything like that, like this is really good because they're really good for grip. They keep the moisture out as long as you don't get moisture on the black part. So I like those. I wear those sometimes, and actually in the cold mornings they're really nice. The third pair of gloves that I wear is basically just your mechanic gloves, and obviously you can get these at Home Depot or AutoZone or whatever. And these I use mostly for when it's dry. So when it's dry out, I use these, and I also use them for when I'm doing construction and building stuff like I did with the grow tent. And those really came in handy, just to protect your hands and stuff. The fourth pair that I got, these are more of your like leather gloves, and again, you can get all this stuff at Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever. They've got really good selection of this stuff. But this is really good for handling wood, barbed wire, just anything that's real thick and you don't want to get your hands messed up. So these are really handy, ropes and stuff like that. Don't want to get these wet. They do keep your hands warm. Very versatile and very rugged. So basically I have 4 pairs. All of these gloves that I switch from throughout the day depending on the environment and the weather and what I'm doing. And I haven't discovered that I really need any more than these gloves for anything else. So this is pretty much what you need if you're going to do farming or gardening, on a regular basis. So I keep all these in my car, in my bag, and I just switch between all of them. So I just wanted to give you a quick review on all those gloves real quick. And yeah, just be safe out there when you're in the farm or doing whatever, four-wheeling or I don't know. Alright guys, peace out.